In this video, we will explore how it operates and how to customize it. There are several programmable buttons on the XF. The rear button, the front button, second shutter release, and around the side is a 12-pin input that accepts the Phase 1 breakout box, which is a programmable cable release. The power button is on the top of the body. The touchscreen is designed to use touch when it makes sense and dials when it does not. Tap the icons on the bottom to access specific tools. Tapping the mode icon allows you to select from any of the classic camera modes, while tapping the shutter speed, aperture, or ISO allows you to place any of them directly into auto mode, as well as access the upper and lower limits of the auto settings. This is particularly useful if you want to keep aperture or shutter speed within a reasonable range. The actual values for exposure are adjusted by the corresponding dials. Swiping either direction allows you to access various tools of the XF. When in a tool, the position of items on screen generally corresponds to the button or dial that controls it. Again, there is a mix of touch and dial functionality. Menus can be accessed by pressing the bottom silver button. Meanwhile, the top silver button highlights a field on the main screen so that you can change it with a dial. This is useful in cold weather. When in the menu, the simplest way to navigate is to scroll up and down on the front dial and use the rear or side dial to move in and out. Tapping the shutter release always takes you home. In the menu is a section called Capture Setup. This contains all of the operational settings of the camera. Many of these settings can also be accessed from the tools that they edit. The UI Setup menu allows you to edit the interface to fit your needs. Finally, the Tools menu contains all of the camera's tools. This also allows you to access tools that might not have been loaded into the swipe-through screens. There are a few visual cues in the interface. When an icon has a triangle in the corner, it indicates that there is a sub-menu of options available. For instance, when you press and hold on the vibration mode, you can set the maximum delay. Vibration capture will typically wait until all vibration has ceased before capturing. However, if you set a maximum time, then if vibration has not ceased, capture will automatically occur at that time. Another cue is that items in auto always appear in blue. If a setting cannot be maintained consistently, it will appear in red. In this example, we get a warning that the gap between shots really cannot be less than 1 second. Lastly, if you are able to sync with strobes, a flash symbol will appear. Here, when we set the shutter speed to 1/2000th of a second, strobe syncing is no longer possible, so the flash goes away. When this happens, the ProPhoto Air transmitter will not try to trigger the strobes. There are many ways to customize the XF interface to meet your needs. First, we will look at the display itself. The icons on the bottom can be replaced with items that you use most. Press and hold on an icon to choose a replacement for it. The multi-dot icon in the bottom corner is a pop-up menu giving you quick access to all the tools from the home screen. The main menu gives you more options. In UI Setup, there are alternate layouts available. Simple and waist level are very similar, but waist level also gives you focus confirmation. Screen orientation allows you to rotate the screen 180 degrees for use on a copy stand. Tools Enabled is also particularly useful. This menu will add and remove tools that appear when swiping. If you are only using a few of the items, you can save a lot of time when swiping through by removing the ones that you don't use. When first setting up the camera, it might make sense to add the focus trim tool for easy access. Buttons and dials can be customized from UI Setup, Control Setup. There are quite a number of options for each button. Here, we will set the rear button to autofocus and the front button to swap between AFR mode. Dials can be changed for direction or the item they edit. For instance, the rear dial is set to ISO by default, but it can be changed to browse images on the digital back, change exposure compensation, or flash compensation when using the Air TTL lights. When you have set up the camera, there are two options to save your setup. First, you can save the body setup as one of 3 presets stored on the body itself. However, on the digital back, you can save this setup to a CF card either for backup or to be used to set up cameras at a later time. This is done in 2 places. First, in the camera menu, we go to Menu, XF, Custom Setup, and you can save the body setting only. Here, you can also rename the ABC presets so they make more sense. From the main menu, we can back up the entire camera system, which includes both the back and the body together. This is done from the main system setup.